guys, welcome to Stacking Shelves for the week preceding June 27th. I did get 10 books this last, it's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these. A lot of them were audiobooks and some review books and some I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited, but I'll go ahead and just start going through them. The first one I got was a review book. Back in like January, February, Quirk Books had sent me their spring summer catalog and asked me to reply with books I might be interested in reviewing. And honestly, I don't remember what my response was to that. So I've been getting some kind of random books that apparently at the time I thought I'd really enjoy reviewing. So one of those I just got this week, and that is The Big Book of Mars by Mark Hartzman. So this is supposed to be kind of a unique book about kind of human history and Mars, and including like pulp culture and NASA trips to Mars, kind of everything. So it should be a really interesting read. I think my son will also probably really enjoy this. Thank you to Quirk Books for sending that along for review. Then I did buy 2 books this week, or in the last 2 weeks. The first one I bought is Witch Hat 8-Layer Volume 5 by Kamomi Shirahama. And again, I probably said that wrong. But this has been an incredible manga series. It's like a fantasy adventure manga series, appropriate for probably middle grade and older. The artwork in here is just like really, really detailed and amazing. It's one of the best illustrated mangas I've read. If you read Vinland Saga, which is another excellent manga series, that one's probably illustrated a little bit better, but this is kind of on the same level for illustration. And I've really been enjoying the story. There's a lot of magic, fantasy, adventure, and they're very almost feel like there's dire things that happen in them, but they're a little bit more heartfelt and kind of leave you feeling happy, which is a good thing right now for me. So I did get Volume 5. I also pre-ordered Volume 6, which doesn't come out until September, I believe. So me and my son are loving this series. We're trying to get my husband to read it too, because it's just been so good. I mean, there's dragons and magic and witches and just a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So really loving that. And then the second one I bought is York, The Map of Stars by Laura Ruby. This is the third and final book in the York series. This is one I actually got the first book in an owl crate and read it with my son and read the second one with him as well. I don't think either of us are patient enough at this point to have me read this out loud to him, but we'll probably read it individually. And it's set in kind of a futuristic steampunkish kind of world where there's a whole bunch of puzzles that these kids are trying to solve in order to save the city of York, which is kind of a high-tech sci-fi-ish city that it just has some steampunk undertones because a lot of stuff is run on steam, or it's very like retro sci-fi. So really loving this middle grade series. Very excited to see how it ends. So I did go ahead and buy that one. All right. Then I also bought I borrowed a couple books for Kindle Unlimited again. The first one of those is Demon, Magic, and a Martini by Annette Marie. This is the 4th book, I believe, in the Guild Codex Spellbound series. Yes, book 4. And this features Tori, who is a non-magical human who ends up working as a bartender in a bar that's a guild for mages. And, I've been absolutely loving this series. I'm a big fan of Annette Marie. I just find her writing style so easy to read and so much fun. And these have been wonderful books. And so the second one I borrowed through Kindle Unlimited is Taming Demons for Beginners, which is Guild Codex Demonized Book 1. So Spellbound and Demonized are 2 separate series that feature different characters. The character featured in this one, Paige, is introduced in Demon, Magic, and a Martini, so I have already read that book. But so there's a recommended reading order for it. So after book 4 of Spellbound, you're supposed to read book 1 of Demonized. So I went ahead and got that one. So this is Taming Demons for Beginners. And I actually really liked the brief intro of Paige that was done in Demon, Magic, and a Martini. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about her character. All right. Then I got a whole bunch of audiobooks. So I did start commuting to work again this week. And, I get to go into the lab when I need to, is basically how it is. I'm supposed to work from home as much as I can. And when I'm in the lab, there's nobody there. So a lot of the hands-on work I've been doing in the lab is stuff that I can like listen to an audiobook while I do or something like that. So I am listening to a lot of audiobooks again. I actually finished 2 of them this week. So I went ahead and had some stuff on my wish list from Audible Escapes, which is the $7 per month kind of romantic stories you can subscribe to if you have an Audible account. And it's been well worth it for me because I was like going through so many audiobooks the end of last year and the very beginning of this year that I was running out of my credits for my platinum thing. So paying the extra $7 a month to get additional access to Audible Escapes was well worth it for me. And so I got another Audible Escapes audiobook to listen to, and that's The Lady and the Highwayman by Sarah M. Eden. This was a Victorian mystery romance kind of thing. It's very interesting. It's about and I already listened to it, obviously. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was cute and funny. It's about a headmistress of a school who writes romance novels for gentry women, but she also writes Penny Dreadful novels secretly. And there's another man who is the leader of this Penny Dreadful Society who writes Penny Dreadfuls, but they use he's in a group of a whole bunch of men who also write Penny Dreadfuls, but they use the money to help orphans in the city, and they end up kind of working together, but there's a little bit of a twist because of how the Penny Dreadful sales things go. And then on top of all, there's a mystery about a bunch of disappearing children. So this was definitely a very cute, feel-good Victorian mystery with some romance in it. The characters are very driven to do good deeds and help kids, but they're also kind of witty and funny and not behaving necessarily to the standards of the time, So very cute, funny, nice little read. I don't know if it's one I'm going to think about a lot, but it was just kind of a nice diversion. And I picked it because it sounded like it'd be just a nice, fun diversion. And going back to the lab and everything was a little bit stressful. So just having a little bit of something fun going on in the background was nice. All right, then the next 4 books I got, I've talked about the Audible Originals before, and Audible Originals are available monthly to anyone with an Audible membership, which I've had an Audible membership for a very long time. And it seems like recently, and I'm not sure if this was due to COVID-19 or not, they've changed the way they're doing it. So it used to be there were 7 or 8 Audible Original books released each month, and if you were a member, you could pick 2 of them to listen to for free. When I went on, I realized it's almost the end of June and I hadn't looked at any of the Audible Escapes books for this month. And so I went and I looked and there were 20 of them now. And it seemed like I could get as many as I want. And I read a little bit more about it, and it does sound like they are allowing you to listen to as many of the monthly chosen Audible Originals as you want to for free without using a credit. So I went ahead and I picked 4 of those, and the Audible Originals are always a little bit outside of what I would normally listen to, but I've run into some really interesting stuff because of them. So anyways, the first one I got through that was Forget Nothing by John Ansbach, Michelle C. Myers. This is apparently a story set in the Galaxy's Edge world, which I know nothing about. It is a hard science fiction military type of world, and it's a 4-hour story, I think. I thought it might just be fun to listen to. The main character is a woman who is a soldier fighting in this futuristic military corps, and that's all I know about it. I just thought it sounded kind of fun. So I went ahead and got that Audible Original for free to read. The next one I got is Once More Upon a Time by Roshani Chokshi, and I don't know if I said that right. Anyways, she's the author of the Gilded Wolf series, which I really enjoyed a lot. So I was kind of excited to see this novella from her on Audible. This is another 3 or 4 hour audiobook, so a shorter audiobook, and it features a queen and king who went through the whole happy fairy tale thing, but they have been struggling a little bit and they're trying to remember why they fell in love to begin with, kind of thing. So very much kind of a romancy fantasy thing, but I am a big fan of Roshani Chakshi's writing style. So I thought it might be a fun one to listen to. All right, this next one is completely random, and that is, I like to get some random history stuff, like I did the Ghost Pepper audiobook, and that was just really weird and interesting to learn about. So this is another one of those. The History of Bourbon with Kin Abala. So this is just the history of bourbon, like how it started being made as an alcohol and the influence it's had on history and all that kind of stuff. It's another shorter one. I think it was like 3 hours, but I thought it might just be fun to learn about. You know, I'm very interested in history stuff. So yeah. And then the last one is another kind of random one. It's a middle grade book. Tommy Napweist, Ghost Sitter, A Crazy Inheritance. So it sounds like this is about a kid who inherits some strange amusement park or fun house or something like that, where it ends up that the characters that like play in the carnival or whatever are actually supernatural people. And if I got that synopsis wrong, I apologize, because I'm kind of trying to remember, because I read it briefly and thought, oh, that sounds fun. And this one was a little bit longer. I think it was like 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours. So more of like a full length, like middle grade book kind of length. It sounded fun. It had pretty strong reviews on Audible. So I thought, why not? You know, it's free. If I don't like it, I'll just stop listening to it. So that's what I got. That was 10 books. I went through them somewhat quickly, but kind of a variety of stuff. There are, again, a lot of audiobooks, because I have been kind of tearing through my audiobooks now that I am both commuting again, and when I'm at work, I'm not in meetings. I'm in the lab by myself. So I'm listening to a lot more audiobooks while I do some of those activities too. What else is going on? We have had, honestly, it's been kind of a week, because so this is the part where I'm just going to chat for like 5 minutes. It's been kind of a week. I went back to the lab, but my shift at the lab is 6 a.m. to noon. So I'm getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to get ready and then do my long commute into work. And it's been a little bit exhausting. Like, I've been kind of spoiled, because I can sleep until 6 and still start working at 6:30 because I'm at home, right? And hopefully I'll still get to do a couple days like that every week. And we also had an incident where our cat got very sick on Tuesday, our big fluffy orange one, which I know the cats haven't been in the video a lot because I've been shutting the door because my son is playing video games with his friends and he's very loud. He got very sick, and he had bladder stones. It involved a couple days in the emergency vet. For some reason, all the vet clinics in our area are like booked out 1 to 2 weeks. And when a cat gets plugged like that, they can go into kidney failure really fast. So you really need to get them into the vet quickly. So we had to go to the emergency vet because that was the only option that was open. When we went there, I had to sit in the car and wait like 3 hours before they would admit him, which kind of sucked. And then it was incredibly expensive to have the surgery done at the emergency vet and the hospitalization, like thousands and thousands of dollars. So there was much debate about whether to do that, but our fluffy orange guy is only 8 years old, and he's very healthy and very sweet and very active. And so the prognosis for this is very good. But so I was up, I think, Tuesday night until 1 a.m. waiting for the call from the emergency vet about what was wrong. And then I had to get up at 4:30 and go to work. And then I got back home, was on the phone with the vet for quite a while there, where we were trying to figure out what the treatment would be. And then he came home yesterday, and he's doing really, really well. The problem is we're not supposed to let him jump. We're not supposed to let him lick the stitches, and the other 3 cats need to be kept away from him. So he was in our bedroom last night, and the kitten always sleeps in our bedroom every night. And the kitten and him don't get along. The kitten is now a 2-year-old cat, but they're both orange male cats, and they don't get along. So pretty much we were up all night last night trying to like make sure he wasn't licking, because he had a like e-collar, cone collar on him, but he just wasn't, he was just like flipping around and like hurting himself. So we took that off, and we're just trying to watch him, and we could kind of hear when he started licking. But I'm very tired. It's been a very long week. And I'll just leave it at that. We're trying to figure out, because we were going to bring the kitten camping with us because he's younger, and when we live in our camper, which is the plan in like 4 or 5 years, we want him to be adjusted to it. So we were going to bring him with us over the 4th of July, but now it's like we're probably going to have to bring both of them with us, and It's just been kind of stressful, a big change in pace because I am going back to work and then trying to deal with this sick cat that had a big surgery, and now we're trying to make sure he recovers. So for 2 weeks, we're going to be giving meds twice a day and trying to prevent him from jumping and making sure his incision doesn't get torn open or infected or anything like that. So a little bit stressful for that. My son has been at home this summer. He's doing okay. He's playing more video games than I would like, but he is trying to spend the morning like doing other stuff. We got a trampoline he's jumping on, or he's been doing some art projects. I don't know if you guys have heard the Kiwi and Co-Box. They're like little engineering project kits that you can subscribe to, and we've been getting those. So he's been working on those some. I still will be happy he goes back to sport camp the end of July. So I'll be happy when he's off like doing something else all day, because he is playing a ton of video games. We did do a camping trip last week. It went really well. The weather was nice. It was a little bit chilly. We were up on Lake Superior, in northern Minnesota, and it was very nice. Everything up north was they were very good about the whole pandemic thing. Like a lot of places had windows where you ordered food and then just set the bag outside or whatever, and you grabbed it and then you could take it somewhere else to eat. We did go down to Duluth in Canal Park in downtown Duluth, and we didn't really go in any buildings. Most of the people there were wearing masks and stuff, and we just kind of did some Pokemon raids outside and tried to keep our distance. And then we did eat at Canal Park Brewery, which is a very popular brewery up there, and they had turned their parking lot into very distant tables, and you ordered at a window, and then they brought out your bag of food, and then you took it and went and sat at a table by yourself and ate it. So not completely ideal, but I don't think we ever felt unsafe during the trip. The only part I felt a little unsafe during the trip was we stopped to get gas with the camper on the back of the truck on the way home, and for some reason every gas station was super duper busy, so we had to wait in line to get gas. And then when we went into the gas station to use the bathroom, it was wall-to-wall people. It was insane. So we kind of just put our masks on and trucked in to use the bathroom, trucked out. So, mostly I feel like everything's been okay here. And as I said, going back to work, I don't see many people at work, even when everybody was going to work. And now that it's not many people there, I was in the lab 7 hours yesterday and saw no one. So I didn't see a single person in the whole building while I was there. So, it's fine, I guess. Still doing same stuff. I've been working on my nail art. Here's some beautiful, rainbow colored, it's kind of blurry, starry pride nails for everybody. Yay. And I will mention that 3M, where I work, has been very supportive of Pride, and I am also very supportive of Pride. And they actually raised their Pride flag yesterday. So along with a U.S. flag and a Minnesota flag, they have the Pride flag raised. So very happy to be part of a company that's really trying to be inclusive, and they're also taking a lot of action to help rebuild Minneapolis after the rioting that happened last month, and to actively support all races of people. So happy to be working for a company that's doing that, and happy to be back in the lab. I actually feel like I'm doing work again, so that's awesome, but a little bit exhausted because of the whole cat drama that's been going on this week. So, all right. There's your chat. I hope that you guys had a great week and that you got a lot of great books to read. I will probably not talk to you next week because I think we'll be out of town. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great week. Read some great books. I will talk to you later. Bye.